Hi, this is Jacob Adams, and to be quite honest, I almost didn't make it today. Actually, it was pretty challenging to muster up the energy to get in front of the camera today. This weekend, yesterday, my mother was in a pretty intense accident. It was actually a hit and run, and it threw me for a loop. My sister says, "Mom's been in an accident," so I get a text message, and I'm basically like, okay, well, damn, this is pretty serious. So I immediately called her, said, "How serious is this? What's going on?" And she just says, "She's at the hospital. That's how serious it is." And that's all she gives me. She hangs up. In any case, I began driving. Before this phone call, I was feeling pretty good. Now, as soon as I get this phone call, naturally, things like priorities, purposes, what am I doing with my life starts coming to the surface, right? It starts coming up. I like to refer to this as what comes up, or things start coming up. And immediately I start reevaluating what I've been doing with my life over the course of the last several months, the year, etc. And I had just finished meditating, believe it or not. So I was in a worship moment with God prior to this. Now, so it wasn't like I didn't have any connection to God in my life, and I'm just turning to God now because my mom's in an accident. My mom was in an accident, and it was really something like, okay, what does this mean, God? Because, I mean, I know that my mom's very close to God, and so she's going through this trial now, and I'm driving to see her, worried, stressed. I feel tension coming to my neck, emotions like worry, fear, frustration, insecurities. All these emotions start coming up through my body, and they start penting up. Now, because of, I believe, all the meditation I've done over the course of all this year and prior to, in 2015, I was able to say, okay, well, these are the emotions. This is the raw emotion of worry, fear, anxiety, insecurities, doubts, the loss, the love, everything's coming up, at once, Jacob. And you have really one option: just calmly drive to the destination, to the hospital, or freak out and start calling people or start posting about it. Well, what can you do? What are your options right now? And so I just stayed calm, and I just prayed, and I thought to myself, what am I going to do if anything were to happen to this woman, my mom? What would I do with my life? What would I change? And some things came to the surface. Things like, sometimes I still talk to a former girlfriend of mine, even though it doesn't become romantic. Sometimes I still talk to her. And I thought to myself, why? Why am I doing that? Is that me wasting time? And if I didn't have any more time left on earth, how would I have lived differently? How would I have maybe been more committed to my purpose and my drives? Even though I'm pretty committed now. I mean, I really feel I'm pretty committed now. But when it hits the fan, I'll leave it at that. When things hit the fan, I'll leave it at that. At that moment there, we see very clearly. We see so clearly as to what we're allowing ourselves to be placated on, what we allow ourselves to lie to ourselves and rationalize on, where we cut the corners. We see so clearly at that moment as to what we're willing to drop then and there, without a question, because we ourselves know deep within ourselves, it's a rationalization we made within ourselves to not function at our highest capacity, because there's no accountability. Maybe there's nobody really holding us accountable. There's no judge really. It's just you and God, and the mystery of life that can really judge whether or not you are operating at your highest capacity. And so I almost didn't make this video. I almost didn't make it here today to make this video. The only reason I did was because when I was driving to see my mom, I said, what would I change? And making these videos, doing these courses, was not something I would stop. It would be something I propelled even further into. So if I had lost my mom, luckily no bones were broken. It was a hit and run. I walk in and she's got a neck brace on, staying still, breathing heavily, can't breathe really well. It was a pretty wretched sight to see. I mean, I didn't like it, but praise God, she was breathing and talking, and that moment, it felt like anything that happens today is fine as long as she's here, and that was all I wanted, and I got that, and we got that, and it was fine. I'm just saying that now, looking forward, I did message that former girlfriend who occasionally we were not talking, we're not talking or anything like that, but occasionally she would message me, and I took the moment to this. I said, look, my mother was in a pretty significant accident today, and it made things very clear to me. And just go ahead and contact me if you really need something important, because I still want to be nice to people. I'm still a kind person. It's just that I don't want to pull punches in my life when it comes to my purpose. And the reason I'm making this video and sharing it is for both you and me. Because today, seeing so clearly yesterday, I want to share that in our life, when things hit the fan, we see so clearly. And we know exactly what we really need to do no matter what. And that day could be today. You don't have to wait till that moment. Sure, it's easier if there's a traumatic experience because you really don't have a choice. You really don't. But you can make the choice today, though, to really analyze your life and say, are you doing your life's work? Brendan Burchard consistently says, I was doing busy work, but I wasn't doing my life's work. And the only reason I'm here in front of you today after a dramatic experience like that is because I feel this is part of my life's work. And so I'm doing everything I can going forward to remove anything that's extra, anything that is wasting time. I mean, will the weeds of life get in there to your garden of beauty, your garden of purpose? Will the weeds of life get in there, kind of squeeze in there, even though you're so clear? I think so. I think it's tough. I think it's never going to be perfect and flawless. What I do think is that if you're resilient, if you're focused, if you put your heart into it, you ignite passion, you take care of your body, you eat right, you sleep, you do self-regulating behaviors, you meditate, you pray, you embrace your deepest heart. What is in your heart at your deepest core level, where you think that nobody knows is watching, but you know is there. At that level there, what's being said, what's in there? And if that part of you is engaging with the world around you, achieving your life's work, when the shit hits the fan sometimes, you're gonna find that you'll be far happier that you lived your life in that manner versus messing around or placating, allowing others to placate you, or just allowing too much busy work into your schedule, but not your life's work. My mom's currently fine for now. She's a fighter, and that's another reason I'm here. I said, you know what better way to honor the woman that is ready to fight today after an accident like that than to fight today with purpose in my life as well. This is Jacob Adams signing off of this particular intimate idea, this story that is really impacted me this weekend. Hope it has something for you as well.